Have you ever wondered why some land listings sit on the market for 6 months, 9 months, or even longer? It's a frustrating experience for any owner. You see other properties selling, but yours just isn't getting the attention you expected. It's not always the land itself, and it's not always the price alone. Sometimes the reasons are subtle and happen behind the scenes, long before a buyer ever decides to make a call. We'll explore what most owners don't realize is happening, and more importantly, what you can learn from it. And one that lingers indefinitely. That's the real market. Many landowners understandably price their property based on what they feel it's worth. Perhaps you've owned it for 20 years and have fond memories associated with it. Maybe a neighbor has their property listed for a high price, and you think yours should be in the same ballpark. Serious buyers and their agents don't start their research by looking at active listings data. Imagine this scenario. However, the records show that 3 similar parcels in the area have sold in the last 6 months for between $38,000 and $42,000. When a potential buyer sees your listing online, their first thought isn't about your personal connection to the land. Their first thought is, why is this one so much more expensive than what others have actually sold for? And just like that, they scroll past it. They don't make an offer. They don't inquire. They simply move on to the next property that's priced in line with the market. We've seen countless cases where a piece of land sat for 8 or 9 months with very little activity. Then, after a realistic price adjustment based on sold comparable properties, it received multiple inquiries and sold within just a few weeks. It's a tough pill to swallow, but the market is driven by data, not by feeling. Buyers are looking for fair market value, and if your price is an outlier from the start, you're unintentionally filtering out the most qualified and motivated people. The second major reason land listings can stagnate is a lack of clarity around legal access. This is a huge deal for vacant and rural land. Buyers are inherently risk-averse. They don't want to invest their hard-earned money into a property, only to find out they can't legally get to it. Phrases like buyer to verify access or simply not mentioning an easement at all can be red flags. Deeded easement leading to your property, they will often move on without a second thought. Even if there's a physical dirt road that everyone in the area has used for years, if that access isn't legally documented, it represents a major uncertainty. The buyer starts asking questions. What if the neighbor who owns that road decides to put up a gate next year? What if I have to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to secure an easement? This confusion alone is enough to stop an inquiry dead in its tracks. We've seen beautiful, usable properties receive almost no calls simply because the access details weren't clearly researched and explained upfront in the listing description. A buyer shouldn't have to do detective work to figure out if they can drive to their own land. Providing clear documentation, like a copy of the deeded easement or a clear explanation of public road frontage, removes that doubt and makes your property far more attractive than one shrouded in ambiguity. It builds trust from the very first impression. The third reason, which is becoming more important every day, is poor marketing and the resulting buyer drop-off. Think about how people shop for things online. Attention spans are incredibly short. If a web page is confusing or unappealing, you click the back button in seconds. The same exact principle applies to real estate listings. There's no kitchen to photograph, no staged living room to create a lifestyle image. Your marketing has to work harder to tell the story of the property. If a listing only includes 3 blurry cell phone photos taken from the side of the road and a 2-sentence description that says, 10 acres, great views, you're losing potential buyers instantly. They can't see the boundaries. They don't know if utilities are nearby or what local attractions exist. They have questions, and your listing isn't providing any answers. In contrast, a well-marketed listing will have professional photography, including drone shots that show the entire property and its surroundings. It will have clear map overlays showing the property lines. The description will be detailed, mentioning zoning, potential uses, proximity to towns, road conditions, and utility availability. It paints a complete picture and allows the buyer to imagine themselves using the land. When a buyer feels informed and can visualize the property's potential, they are far more likely to engage, ask questions, and eventually make a visit. Poor marketing doesn't just fail to attract buyers. It actively pushes them away to other listings that do a better job of answering their initial questions. Now, none of this means your land won't sell, but fixing them takes time, effort, and sometimes additional investment. It explains why so many listings quietly sit on the market, month after month, with the owner left wondering what's wrong. You have to manage the listing, field questions from people who may not be serious buyers, consider price adjustments, and navigate the complexities of the closing process. If managing all of that, dealing with the uncertainty, and waiting for the right buyer to come along feels exhausting, you should know that there is a simpler, more direct option available. At LarryBuysLand.com, we make straightforward cash offers on vacant land across the country. There are no listings, no showings, and no waiting for months to see what happens. Our process is designed to be simple and transparent. We handle the research, we cover all the closing costs, and we can close on your timeline. If you'd rather skip the uncertainty and the hassle of the traditional market, I invite you to visit our website. And you can request a simple, no-obligation cash offer for your property. It's a direct way to sell your land without the guesswork. Thank you for watching, and we hope this information has been helpful for you.